So today we got a question from a bro who wants to know, yo, Elliott, why is it that I have a life that doesn't inspire me? I know I'm meant for more. How do I start moving towards it? Great question, bro. But before we go, if you want to hire me for a one-on-one session where we can dive into your situation and come up with real solutions, click the link down below and work one-on-one with old Uncle Yo. So here we go. I feel stuck in life and I have no inspiration. I have responsibilities and people who rely on me, but deep down, I know I'm meant for more. How do I figure out my true purpose and start moving towards it? Yeah, man, that's a good question. And especially in the world that we live in, where we're constantly fed reasons to be discontent. I'm not saying that you should go about living a life that is beneath you, but you are where you are right now for a reason. In fact, the greatest joy of your life could be present right now if you choose it. But I get it. There's all kinds of distractions. There's all kinds of people telling you what they're doing and it sounds cool. There's all kinds of imagery on the screens that we look at that looks like maybe I should do that too. There's all kinds of angst and anxiety in our heart from pressures that were given to us since the time we were in school. And so we never actually allow ourselves to be present with what's cool, which is the only thing that you can do, which is the now. The now. And it's not just me making up some airy-fairy new age bullshit. It's biblical, if you will. I was thinking about this before I answered your question. So you know the story in the Old Testament where Moses is walking and there's a bush that's burning, and then he hears a voice from God and he says, "Stop, you were on sacred ground." Sacred ground? He's like, what are you talking about? He's in the middle of the desert somewhere probably, and it's probably not very beautiful, right? At least from the pictures I've seen in the Bible picture books. It just looks like there's like scattered crap around, right? There's little trees and bushes around, right? This bush is burning and it's telling him you are on sacred ground. And that's the imagery that came to my head when I read your question, and that meant for me to tell you that you are on sacred ground. I am on sacred ground. We're constantly on sacred ground. We're constantly where God is trying to burn a bush and speak to us right now. The problem is we think that it needs to be something grandiose. We think that we need to do something grandiose. We think we need to do something that is going to get us a lot of accolades and praise, and we're going to be on the news, and we're going to make millions of dollars, and we're going to be traveling the world, and we're going to be doing all these grandiose bullshit things that we've seen on the screens. When in fact, here's a really good little anecdote, a story about a Zen Buddhist, right? Some master, right? Some Eastern master, where his student asks him, he says, "Master, what is it like to be so enlightened," right? Like, so just consider, like, he's got it all, right? How many times we look at people and we say, "Hey, buddy, hey, master, hey, mister," right? You see these guys on YouTube, they go around asking people in Ferraris, "Hey, mister, what is it like to be amazing? What is it like to be so cool like you?" And the master in all his mastery says, "Dude, before enlightenment, before I became this cool, you put me on this pedestal," it's a lot of times what happens, "before I got the Ferrari, before all these amazing things happened to me, you know what I did? You know what I did? I chopped wood and I carried water." Chopped wood and carried water. How boring, how mundane. And then he goes on and he says, "But you know what? After I reached enlightenment, after I got the Ferrari, after I got the grandiose lifestyle, you know what I do? Chop wood and carry water. Chop wood and carry water. Chop wood and carry water." The enlightenment, the nirvana, the heaven on earth, God's kingdom is here now. Christ even said so. Here now within you. So we can choose to look at the mundanity of our lives. We could choose to look at the getting up in the morning, going to work, eating breakfast, taking the kids to soccer practice, or whatever it is that you're doing that seems so blah and so uninspiring, and realize that inside of it, right there inside of it, right there's holy ground, right there. we can crack open and experience everything that we're meant to be, which is everything that actually is. I think we tend to think that our lives are a mistake. I know I do a lot of times. I'm like, but did I make the wrong choice? Why am I here? Why are these things happening? When in reality, it's the only place that you can begin. It is the canvas and the paint that you've been given. And it is with these things that we create the masterpiece of our life. It's nowhere else. It's not over there, and it's not with that guy. It's not at another time. It's right here with you right now, but it's a choice. Easier said than done, I know. Begin with this. Just be grateful. Be grateful. I'm going through a hard time right now in my life, just to be transparent with you guys. Financially, business, it's not doing that well. But I know why. There are a lot of reasons why, but one of the reasons why is so that God can give me some humility so I can deal with people on a more heart-to-heart basis. All of my challenges have been your challenges, just like all of your challenges are other people's challenges, so that you can empathize, right? So I'm not worried about it. But it then gave me pause when right now I'm also putting together a fundraiser for a woman in Africa who has 6 children, and her husband just got hit by a bus. He was riding a little motorcycle, very poor people. And he was the breadwinner for his wife and the 6 kids, right? The mom's taking care of the kids and whatnot. Gets hit by a bus. This woman they don't have insurance. They have nothing. Pictures, I'll even put a link down below so that you guys can donate if you want to. We haven't started the campaign yet, but if you want to be one of the first, go right ahead. Pictures of kids, they got like rips in their shirts. These are like poor as poor can be. Now this woman is living in a shed. Someone donated a shed. They said, oh, I have a shed in the backyard, where I used to keep tools or whatever. You can go live in there. She's living in a tool shed with her kids. And so it gave me pause when I'm thinking, oh man, I don't have enough to take my kids on vacation. Like, honestly, really? That's what you're worried about? She doesn't have enough to give her kids a roof over their head and patched up clothes, right? So begin there. Sorry to go on that rant, but begin there. Like, your life is not that bad. And you say, I'm not inspired. Well, be grateful, which allows you to breathe, which is, the essence of inspiration. Taking a deep breath in. Like Ralph Smart says, breathing in that good ass prana, right? So be grateful that you can even breathe. There's people who have, like my mom has asthma. There's people with COPD. They can't even fucking breathe. Take that big breath of good ass prana in and be grateful for that. Be grateful that you have an internet connection that you communicate with me with, right? And all the things that we're doing here. Not because it's a good thing to do, not because Jesus said so or it's in scripture in some book, but because it's good for you. It relaxes you. It gives you perspective, dude. And that's really what it's all about, right? Perspective. Anyway, I hope that helps. Talk soon. Done.